ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। ओम गणपते नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। सर्वमंगलमांगल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यंबके देवी नारायणी नमोस्तुते। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु महालक्ष्मीरूपेण संस्थिता। नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। ओम श्रीं ह्रीं श्रीं कमले कमलाले प्रसीद प्रसीद। ओम श्रीं ह्रीं श्रीं श्री महालक्ष्मै नमः। ओम श्रीं स्वाहा। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते रुद्राय। ओम नमः शिवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय। श्री हनुमते नमः। ओम नमो हनुमते भयभंजनाय। सुखम कुरु कुरु फट स्वाहा। Om. Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 5th of September 2025. I want to offer my prostrations to all the great sages and to Paramatma who is existing as Sakshi, as witness within the heart of every single being. We are continuing by the grace of all the great sages, grace of all of the incarnations of God, Bhagavan Krishna Paramatma, Shri Radhika Ji, and all of the different gurus that have come in the Sanatan Dharma to continue to expound upon and to contemplate on the glory, the mahima of Prem Bhakti. There is absolutely no state in life equivalent to Prem Bhakti. इससे आगे कुछ नहीं है, ये अंतिम स्थिति है. To reach that sthiti, our emotions can reach a highly evolved state. This is the difference between an ordinary human being versus an evolved human being. An evolved being goes further into a divine being. Divya bhav, divya tattva का अनुभव होता है इसमें. There is no journey like that in life. This life is for this purpose. This life is not to be burnt away. So we realize this. Now, as we set this destination, I want to now jump back into the way Sat Chit Ananda expressed in the Golok Dham. This is a highly metaphysical subject. We were talking about this some time back and we did some more foundational recordings, and I want to jump back into this. This is a highly mystical, esoteric subject. As a bhakta increases the heightened connection gets heightened in devotion, there is the breakage out of the ordinary binding in the waking state, dream state, and deep sleep state. There's the breakage out of it. That breakage out gives us experience, anubhav. Of what? Of the nadis, of the chakras, of the atman, of the abodes of God. Bhagwan ke dham ka darshan hota hai isme. Even though while we're living in this body, yes. Body is going to remain. But this is where we approach that border of Jivan Mukti. Jivan Mukta isko kehte hai. So now from this point on forward, from starting today until the end of this year, we will be talking only about this border and what is beyond. So all of that other stuff is in the past recordings about the doshas and all the, the rag, dvesh, and aham, mamatva, and seeing God everywhere. Those are all basic things. That just has to be there. I mean, there's no way that this is going to happen. So all that, jisko hum kehte hain na man ka kachra, wo to sab chhod diya. Just assume for a moment that's gone. Because otherwise, if we keep talking about that, then there will be no end to that. We want to keep analyzing the trash. We want to understand it and throw it out. Analyzing trash doesn't remove the trash. We can get stuck inside there, so we don't want that to happen. We want to recognize it. Shad ripu rag dvesh aham mamatva klesh, iska bahut varnan karne ki zarur nahi hai. We understand it. leave it aside. भगवान की दया से, कृपा से उनको प्रार्थना करा, हमारे में जो डिफिशियंसी है वो निकाल देना. संत समागम भी है. We know ourselves also where our deficiencies. We don't need 1,000 people to tell us. We already know that. Only thing is we shouldn't be lying to ourselves. Yeah, that's the most unbelievable thing people do. They lie to themselves. I mean, one thing is about lying to somebody else. So all that thing is out. Okay, so I'm not going to talk about that anymore. We want to talk about the pure divinity. So let's be clear. As 9 forms of devotion blossom, is it happening? Okay, I'm just going to describe it. If it's happening in our lives, we will know that. We will know that by Ananda. We will know that. But I'm just going to explain it here by the grace of Bhagavan Krishna. And then just straight away go right into the, one step at a time into the highest of liberations. Sab Mukta sthiti ki baat abhi hogi until the end of this year. And if you have any questions, comments or anything, please send them to me. I'll be happy to answer them. We will be also covering the chapter 15 of the Gita interspersed inside this. All right, now let's begin on this point. A bhakta, who is a bhakta? Bhakta means that there are several convictions that are solid. Convictions. Bhagvat Nishta. Bhagwan ki Swarup Nishta. Point number 1. We've talked about it before. We're having Radha and Krishna as the example. We're going to stick to that, but any Ishta Devata is okay. Nishta means what? The Supreme Lord is in front of me, is with me. That is Sri Krishna. If it is Shiva for you, then it is Shiva. Whatever. That is called Nishta. This is one thing. If that is not there, there cannot be Bhakti. Bhakti agi, how can there be Bhakti? Bhakti means devotion. Bhakti means dualistic devotion. That there is Paramatma who is superior to me, and there is the me, the ahankar and everything is released. There is no me, there is only you. This is the path of thou. Remember this point. I've mentioned it before. Ramakrishna Paramahansa has explained this. He himself went through that. So this is the path of thou. We cannot do bhakti, cannot even be a bhakta until there is absolute, unflinching conviction that my Ishtadev is the Supreme Lord, or the Supreme Goddess, or the Supreme Tattva. That has to be there. That is absolutely the base. Isko kehte hai Ishta Nishta Swarup Nishta. Okay, this is point 1. To be a bhakta. Second point. That one lives literally breath to breath. And Sachin is not going to dilute anything here now. So this is going to be spoken as it is. Breath to breath, minute to minute, hour to hour, in total reliance, sharanagati, sharanam. Sharanam, sharanagati. Gati means it's a movement towards sharanam. Sharanagati is taking the 100% shelter of God. Of 100%, not 99.99999%. 100%. Then that is a bhakta. This is the real understanding of what is a pure bhakta. Real bhakta. Every action performed, every thought, every kriya, every interaction is all performed in the sharanam state. Every action, not sectioning off something or another. No, that will not take us into the state of prema. No. There is no, people have this thing. My life is in the temple, or my life in the puja room, my life in another place. We are, like that Ravana has 10 different heads. Each human being has so many different personalities. There's so many different ways. It's all contradictory mess. No, that will never open the door into prema bhakti. It has to be consistent that every action, mansik, karmic, man karma vachan, mental kriya, physical kriya, and verbal action, the words, they are aligned in the light of Paramatma with Sharanam, that it is performed at the feet of Paramatma. Drinking a cup of coffee, going for a walk, blinking one's eyes, raising one's hands. There is no place for aham bhav in any action. कितनी अद्भुत बात है, something to really meditate on. Try it out even for 1 hour, for 1 minute even. See what happens. We will understand what is Maya. We will realize what is Maya. Automatically we will know it, and we can say this is Maya. Separate it out. Again, prarthana karni Bhagavan ko. This is the mark of a bhakta. This is second point. Third point. The second point is Sharanam. That's why we have this beautiful mantra. Sri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Radha Sharanam Mama. Sharanam. Sharanagati. And there is extraordinary freedom, beauty, and zero tension in Sharanam. Koi tension nahi hai. We carry so much. This will happen. This will happen. What will happen to somebody? What will happen? We are carrying the burdens of God knows what. They are gone. When when our mind, our emotions, our memories, our feelings, our being is placed. Actually, you know how we say keep the mind on God? It's even more than that. No dilution, remember. As it is the Atma that is given to Paramatma, not just the mind. Now somebody will ask, how do you give the Atma to the Paramatma? Atma Samarpan. It's a word actually. We say Atma Samarpan. The way that is done is our whole soul, whole being, everything that we are is yours. This is how Ramakrishna Paramahansa became Ramakrishna Paramahansa. This is how Tulsidas Ji became Tulsidas Ji. This is how Mirabai became Mirabai. That thou art all. It's very easy for me to say. We can say so many things. We need to say. Sthiti ki baat hai. Hamara ahankar kaisa? Our ego is such, our sharirik bhav, vasanas and other things. We don't want to do this 100%. We'll say, we'll do it 10%, little bit. Make a small temple in the home somewhere. Keep you Bhagwan Krishna, you stay in that temple. You don't come out of that. I'm keeping you there, locked up inside there, lock the room. I'll come in there whenever I feel like it. ऐसे भगवान नहीं मिलते किसी को. किसको भगवान मिलते हैं? Not by creating a small temple and locking it up. Yeah, we have that. I don't mean to. It's not you have to get God out of that temple. Into every action. Into every kind of interconnected, interlinked, weaving together. This is called Tantra. Tantra, not in the negative stuff that people have brought in the West. Not that. Tantra means to weave together, to stitch together. And that stitching together in the heart, in the mind, with great Shraddha. We talked about Shraddha before. That Shraddha is the next component. These are all together. They're not like one after another. They're all together. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. Bhagwan ki ऐसी कृपा होती है. राधिका जी की, राधा रानी की, श्रीमती राधा रानी. वैष्णवों में उनको कैसे संबोधते हैं? किशोरी जी और श्री जी और श्रीमती राधा रानी. कितना रिस्पेक्ट, कितना भाव से. that is वो एक सब्जेक्ट ही बहुत अद्भुत है from a research point of view कि राधिका जी कौन है. We'll have a publication on that in the future sometime. I'm working on that now. There will be a massive volume on the history of Shri Radhika ji. It's took 3,000 years to bring out the Radha Tattva. 3,000 years. It didn't come out yesterday. कितने आचार्य हो गए, कितने. It's a long story. That is where Shraddha, real Shraddha, whether one is by oneself, with your family, with your loved ones, with 1,000 people, with animals, with trees, with nobody, with everybody, there's no difference in that Shraddha. This is the real Adhyatma. Abhi, jo varnan hoga yahan se, pure ghee. Nothing else. All the other stuff is gone. Only ghee. That's it. जिसको पीना है वो मुक्त तत्काल, इन गुजराती में तत्काल मुक्त થઈ જાય. अभी ही मुक्त आप बन सकते, हम भी बन सकते. If these points are internalized. Mukti is not later on, it's right now. These points, we bring them inside and start living in that, Bhagwan will come running to you, guaranteed. Guarantee. You want to see God? God will want to see you. There's no deficiency in Shraddha. There's no doubts left. So when we do darshan of Bhagwan Krishna, Radhika ji, इसमें कोई संशय नहीं है. किसका दर्शन कर? Who is in front of us? There's no doubt. The bhav is such in that darshan. The word darshan means to see the tattva, that this is Bhagavan. Just like Ramakrishna Paramhans is seeing Devi Kalika. How is he seeing her? Thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people are worshipping Kalika Devi in Bengal and so many other places in the world. Farak, why everybody is not seeing that Kalika Devi like Ramakrishna Paramahansa? Farak kya hai? Again, to understand this, to reach that state, Ramakrishna Paramahansa ka jo Kathamrut hai, Shri Ramakrishna Kathamrut, uska abhyas kijiye. You can hear it online. There are thousands of videos. Abhi to sab open ho gaya. This is for one who are hungering after God. Not, like, chalega abhi. That little bits and pieces, some Diwali puja, some Krishnashtami puja, some little, that is a preschool level stuff. Get out of preschool. You cannot be stuck in preschool. That's not even kindergarten level. All these festivals that we celebrate, it is not even kindergarten level. It is preschool level. If we want to reach this, then it is to absorb. Now, this is the next point. This is a point that is very commonly spoken of in so many bhakti traditions. It is called rasa, R-A-S-A, ras. What is this ras? Ras ka meaning kya hai? What is ras? For example, when we have mango, right? Mango ka ras hum nikalte. If it's a really ripened mango, depending on the species of the mango and all that, and if, they have different tastes, right? So the rasa is what? The skin is removed, the seed is removed. Only the pure juice is there, the rasa. And then we can put that, this is an object, this is a physical material object. Rasa is where our entire Shakti that we have been talking about this far has been evolving. It evolves into unbroken, undiluted, constant, ecstatic ananda. Ecstatic ananda. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in this state. We should always keep the highest in the mind, not the lowest. If Sachin wants to reach Bhagavan, which obviously we all do, let's say, who should be our role model? Who can be our role models? The highest sages. People are sometimes so interested in finding faults of others, and I don't want to talk about that. Ye sab chhod do. Leave that trash aside. It doesn't belong in this. Keep the highest sages in the mind. हमारे मन में बड़े बड़े संतों का चरित्र होना चाहिए. How they lived, who they are. And this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And the paramparas that have come afterwards, great sages, Muktanand Swami, etc., amazing saints, they are in that ecstatic ananda. Now, what is ecstatic ananda? This is where our entire nervous system, the brain, the spinal cord, reaches natural ecstasy without any drug or anything like that. We have to be careful using this word ecstasy. That word ecstasy refers to a drug also, and we're not talking about that. Ecstatic state means that the nervous system changes into a constant romanch. Isko romanch kehte. There's actually a word for that. I have to look it up in English. You're ecstatic. It's the ecstatic love. The symptoms of love towards Bhagavan. This is described in 2,000 verses by Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrut Sindhu. 2,000 verses, folks. In the Hare Krishna movement, the ISKCON movement, they usually teach 400 verses from there in their training program, Bhakti Shastra. Think about these things. Ye kitna development, how extraordinary is, and what is it about? It is the rasa. It is the ecstatic connection with God. It is love for God. This is called Bhakti Ras. Bhakti Rasamrut. In Sindhu, ocean. The scripture is actually divided into 4 oceans. They have sectioned it off into 4 oceans. 2,000 verses. I have gone through, at least to some extent. It's very, very extensive. It is, I wish we had, we would need multiple lifetimes. One lifetime is not enough. Even just to go through that scripture, every single verse has its, it is spoken from the transcendental dimension. It is written from the Dham itself in this world by these extraordinary beings. But this is another point to reach that border of going outside the binding of the waking state through the path of bhakti. When we say bhakti kya hai? Bhakti is not just some mantra sadhana, and that's there. All those are just very beginning steps. Bhakti is all of this, really combined together. And when we jump into this, that is the greatest sadhana. And when we stay in this, that is the greatest sthiti. We can either take a very long way, millions of lifetimes. People say, I have heard so many people, we'll just make some progress this lifetime, then next lifetime we'll make more. We cannot do everything this lifetime. Wrong. Why do you say this? ऐसा बोलने की जरूरी नहीं है. Everything happens now. Forget about next lifetime. Completely get rid of that thing. Start with absolutely the conviction, मैं भक्त हूँ, बस. I am 100% bhakta. And leave everything else aside. Bhagwan Krishna directly says, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. You leave everything aside. You come to me 100%. Sarva dharman paritya. Dharman means what? The stuff that we are holding in our mind. This will happen later. That will happen later. Our mankalpit understanding of spirituality. No. Leave it aside completely. भगवान की ये जो माला है, and हमारा अंतर का भाव है, शास्त्र है, स्तोत्र है, मंत्र है, सब. And with that, we live an ordinary life with a completely liberated vision, liberated interaction. Living the ordinary life. The cup of coffee is still going to be a cup of coffee. Talking to your husband or to your wife or to your children or grandchildren is still going to be the same. But from the inside, there is a completely liberated interaction. And those who are around such a being will say, my God, what a... aapke saath baithne mein, people who will see such a being, be with such a being, will be impacted. Their presence impacts. Yes. That is where, again, there's no space of ego in this. None. Anywhere we look, Yomam pashyati sarvatra, sarvam cha mahi pashyati. Sadhana bhi hai, sthiti bhi. Remember, everything that is being described, starting today, until the end of this year, and we'll see into next year what is the will of God, it is all about sthiti and the highest sadhana. There's only one sadhana, and that is the total absorption in Paramatma. Start with that. Don't, generally we think that will happen later. That's how we think. Sometime in the future, we will be completely connected to Paramatma. Sometime in the future, we will realize God. Something will happen in the future. Everything happens in the future except our vasanas. Our vasanas, they happen now. That's not delayed into the future. That's what needs to be delayed and eventually extinguished. God realization is not about the future. If these points, if all of these ideas are held, it's called Antarma Dharu. In the Vachanamrut, Garada Pratham 27, Bhagwan Swaminarayan, wo kya kehte? Bhagwan na akhand dharak sant. To hold God without break. Akhand dharak. Akhand means unbroken. Dharak means one who is the holder of the Lord. One who is holding God from inside. Not vasanas and abhiman and klesh and dvesh. Again, I'm not going to mention those things anymore. But not that. वो तो childish बात है, trash बात है सब. इसका कोई स्थान ही नहीं है in our lives. Even as bhakti की तो बात आगे की बात, but even just normal life इसका कोई स्थान नहीं. And people are being crushed because of that. No, that doesn't belong. Throw it out. It doesn't belong at all. In Vachanamrut, Maharaj, Shriji Maharaj, wo kya kehte? So beautiful. He says, Tame amara kevao cho, tamara ma tal matra kasar reva devi nati. Those who understand Gujarati. It means I will not allow, I don't want even a deficiency that is as small as a sesame seed to remain inside of you. Tal matra kasar. Kasar means deficiency. How does it go? Pull these ideas together. This is being recorded. Review it again. I'll make a PDF out of it. This is not Sachin telling anybody anything. This is Satyam that is coming from 10,000 years. It is being filtered and being presented to the world. It has nothing to do with Sachin at all. So those who decide right now we want to realize Paramatma, that's it. 100% conviction and decision. The buddhi decides, nishay, makes a decision, determination. Tabhi Bhagwan ki prapti karni hi hai. That is amazing. If you remember in Shirdi ke Sai Baba, here in Delaware we have 2 temples of Shirdi ke Sai Baba. I'll close with this point. And I do want to start bringing in the references from the different sages. But I have kind of avoided doing that for a while, but I want to bring them all inside there, particularly the more, well-known, who are really, really very evolved. Because I'm a little bit hesitant to mention different names of different sages because of all the controversies and all that stuff. But anyway, sab mein se acha lena. Remember, always. Wo kya kehte the? If you go to any Sai Baba temple, Shirdi Sai Baba temple, any Sai Baba temple, there are so many, they're all over the place, right? You will see 2 words, Shraddha and Saburi. Saburi means patience. Tremendous patience. These 2 qualities, absolute, unbiased, undisturbed faith, and extraordinary patience. Why patience? Steadiness. Because God is not the result of our egotistical sadhana. Sachin is going to do so many Sri Suktam. Sachin is going to do so many Pratnas. There's some I that comes. And now Bhagwan has to come. But God is the result of our foolish ego. Doesn't matter how much sadhana we do. If there's any ahankar behind that sadhana gets cancelled out. Bhagwan ke sath connection ही नहीं रहता. पुण्य होता है. God, Bhagwan देखते हैं वो कर्म फल you've done even with that sense that I'm doing, I'll give you the fruit of that. And then the end of the matter. Bhagwan नहीं मिलते ऐसे. Bhagwan is कृपा साध्य, not साधना साध्य. मैं साधना में इतने मंत्र जाप करूंगे तो भगवान आएंगे. ऐसा होता है? If that was the case, so many people would have realized, is it some mechanical process that by taking all of these 99 steps, God has to come? I have done so much for you, you have to come to me. Is it like that? Absolutely not. That's ridiculous. It's not a question of the quantity of sadhana. It is a matter of the 100% turn over of the antakarana at the feet of Bhagavan. That is the purpose of sadhana, to bring us to that point of turning the antakarana, mana buddhi chit ahankar, the TEMDE, thought, emotion, memory, desire, energy, turning it completely over at the feet of Paramatma. All fear goes away. And what is the greatest fear? The fear of death. The fear of death. Fear of death is there. I know everybody has to go. I have to go also. Give me just 30 seconds and we'll stop. Fear of death. It gets obliterated. People have so much, fear, like what will happen after I die? Where will I go? This and that. Ye sab baat chodo. This is where that Shraddha comes into the picture. It comes into the picture 100% in our life, that your will be done. You will take care of it. I am not the one in charge of what will happen after death. You are. इसीलिए भगवान का नाम, नारायण का नाम, कृष्ण का नाम, this is coming from thousands of years from ऋषि परंपरा. इसका आश्रय लेना, नामाश्रय, नामामृत. Naam, the divine name, is Amrutam. Ram Naam, Krishna Naam. And that is where the rasa opens up. We live our life ordinary way, but now we're living liberated life. Divya Jivan, Mukta Jivan. Alokik sthiti, alokik sthiti, bade santong, when we say bade santo, doesn't mean they're 10 feet tall, 100 feet tall. It's not, they're like us, they're like a human frame like us. But they are evolved from inside. The inner evolution is there, not inner degradation. Okay, now, this point aisa hai na, there's no end to all this, right? Hari Ananta, Hari Katha Ananta. Ye Bhagwan ki daya se aisa hota hai that we feel like doing more and more. That is grace. We should recognize that. We have to keep practical boundaries. But there's no boundary in love. Love mein koi boundary nahi. This is just one final point. From our mind, internally, not practically necessarily, but internally, throw out every boundary. Throw it out. Racial boundary, cultural boundary, linguistic boundary, financial boundary. Koin uppar hai, koin niche hai. This thing, somebody's fat, somebody's young, somebody's attractive, somebody's not attractive, somebody's old, somebody's young. Take this. We recognize that it exists in the material world. See beyond it. Throw it out. Completely throw it out. Tatkal mukta ban jayenge. Right now one is mukta. The moment we throw that out, we are mukta. Hari Om. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Medeva Sarvakarishu Sarvadam Ganganapate Namaha Shri Sadgurubhyo Namaha Om Dhanamulam Gurur Murti Mantramulam Gurur Vakyam Puja Mulam Gurur Padam Mokshamulam Gurur Krupa Tameva Mata Chapita Tameva Bandusha Sakha Tameva Vidya Dravinam Tameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Gnanamurtim Dvandatitam Gagana Sadrusham Tattvamasyadi Laksham Ekam Nityam Vimalavachanam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami Om Divalingaya Nama Urdhvalingaya Nama Anandalingaya Namo Namah Om Shri Radha Krishna Arpanamastu Om Hrim Swaha Om Hrim Swaha Om Hrim Swaha.